Hey, folks. Hi, welcome back. It's 8 o'clock, and it is September 1st. Boy, did the summer go too quick and too fast. So, normally, when we do the Cool Crap We Love show, there's always somebody that we're calling into that comes in, and we bring him in, and he talks to us through the internet of things. However, today, I'm sitting here next to a friend of mine named Jim Monaco, who is one of the premier people when it comes to collecting memorabilia, as well as knowing a lot of things about whom?
Dean Martin.
That's correct. And he's going to be here tonight to talk to us about his collection and all the things that he's done, as well as traveling around and displaying this to different people and how you can get in touch with him to see more of it. But first, before we even get into that, I have to bring up somebody that would like to be Dean Martin, who thinks he's Dean Martin, somebody who's dressed like a Dean Martin with a shirt that should not be here in 2021. It's Walt Pupalio. Here he is.
Hey, what's happening? Come on, man. This is my new look. I told you, I'm wearing nothing but Hawaiian shirts for the rest of my life.
What started this shirt wearing? What's going on?
I wore one day, got a compliment, and I said, you know what, I like this whole relaxed atmosphere, and I'm in. So this is it.
That's not a good reason. Somebody come over and say, "Hey, old man, nice shirt," and they walk away. You're like, "Hey, I'm gonna start wearing this forever." Hey,
dude, I went golfing the other day and got the senior rate.
It's really
senior rate. They gave us lunch and golf.
It's a good thing. It's all good. You're on this side of the dirt, hitting a stick as a right instead of the underneath that dirt. The next place is under the dirt, so you're doing good. You're doing good.
Hopefully, I don't feel it.
You're feeling good now. We've not seen each other or spoken to each other much.
That'll be a month.
A month, yeah.
Yeah.
Since the last one. But that was really great. The last interview was a lot of fun too. I really enjoyed. I've been thinking about Buy American Pie a lot. It's he was a gregreat guy.
Yeah, I mean, we're out of Afghanistan since I saw you last.
Thank you very well. 90%.
98%. They corrected that today.
Thank you. Well,
I'd like to be the interpreter. You know, yeah, you guys talk. I'll just do this.
Yeah, you just stay there and do all that stuff.
No, that's Jim Monaco, right? Jim Monaco is our guest, and I'm digging it, man. With the stories we were hearing before, we told him save these stories about Dean Martin and the Rat Pack. So, what's the first question for Jim? What do we got for Jim?
Before we even get into any questions with Jim, I want to let you know I have a bunch of pictures here that Jim sent us. I have a couple of videos. I think I should play a quick little video. Jim had done a roast of Dina Martin, Dean Martin's daughter, Deanna, and also I have a quick video here of actually the first time Deanna saw
It's actually Dina.
Is it actually Dina?
If you said Deanna and she was here,
she'd be angry.
Oh yeah,
she'd be. You know what she'd be thinking?
She says it's Dean with an A.
She'd be. You are
an idiot. Hey, finally that worked.
So it's like tomato, but it's actually tomato. All right, I got you. So Dina. So I'm glad you told me that. That being very
Dina Martin is now. What's her real last name?
Martin. He changed it legally. He changed it legally. Oh, her last name now, she's married, is Griffith. But her real name is Dina Martin.
Dina Martin. But so he changed his name legally from Dino Crescetti to Dean Martin.
Yep.
So even the babies are named Martin after that?
Yes. And the grandchildren, and yeah.
It's like a law firm, Martin, and Martin. Hello.
Yeah, but in today's world, you're probably cooler if your last name is Crescetti.
Well, but back then,
sounds a lot tougher.
Different times, you know, Jerry Lewis was Joseph Levitch. You know, so they wouldn't have gone anywhere as Dino Crescetti and Joseph Levitch. It wouldn't have worked on the marquee. I don't think.
The first didn't Dean Martin's name. We went for the first name, then they gave him a second name. It didn't work, and they went with
Martini.
Name. Right.
The problem was that there was a singer named Nino Martini at the same time, and they said, "No, it's not going to work." So they changed it to they said, just take the last letter off, and we'll call you Dean Martin. And he kept it, and it worked.
I think if they would have stuck with Crescetti and Leftwich, whatever his name was, it might have worked.
for a law firm.
Yeah,
Yeah, for a law firm. That's like
it works.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Yeah, Abbott and Costello. I mean, he didn't, Cost. He didn't call himself Cost.
It was a different time, though, But
Yeah, well, I guess you have to
Costello's
do
real
that,
name,
right?
Costello's real name was Cristello. He changed it to Costello for some reason.
Okay.
But it would have still worked as a lawyer.
Yeah, Abbott and Costello.
Yeah.
See,
I
but it's
probably said that a couple
2021.
times when I was drunk.
What would we do today in 2021 if it would? If I was going to name myself, I would name myself like me and my dummy act would be like Trey and Letitia. This way, I'd be like, right. I'd be able to work on Channel 5 this week.
Yeah, I would buy into that. He looks like a Trey.
Hey, it could be a Trey, whatever.
Right. Trey.
Gotta get out and get some more sun. I'm looking for it. So I don't know if I should play this video now or not. I have like a quick little video. We could share it if you want.
Go ahead, put Deanna up.
Nah, Dina.
I know. I know when she watches this.
Okay.
I know it's Dina Martin. Dina. I love Dina Martin, actually.
Yeah, she's a great singer herself in her own right. I've actually watched videos of her many a time. So just to share the screen really quickly, I'm going to show you there's a little video here of Dina Martin at the museum. And this, by the way, is the Dean Martin Traveling Museum. And this is kind of cool.
It's Dina Martin Roast. The Dina Martin Roast.
Well, I have that also.
Oh, okay. So what is this?
This is the wrong one.
Oh.
I have to do it again.
Professionalism just has no bounds here.
It's a little rusty. It's been a month, right? Try this again. There we go. All right, there you go. I think I did it twice in a row wrong.
Yes, you did.
Oh, that's so embarrassing. Why is it? It's saying the wrong thing, but I'm going to try it one more time. Here we go. Share screen. And I'm going to show you. I'll show you one of them. Let's see if we get which one it is. They must be misnamed. So this is the Dina Martin roast with Jim performing.
Jim is up there. Okay.
Yeah, he's performing, doing stand-up comedy at her roast.
They make us feel so special. And one really special thing they did for us a couple of years ago, John, in his inevitable way, would say, call me on Thursday and go, what are you doing on Saturday? Geez, my one day off, like in 3 months. Why? How far are you from Washington, D.C.? Oh, God, about 5 hours, John. What? It's my day off. Why don't you come and I have this Dean Martin collection that some of you know about, a lot of posters and stuff, and they asked me to bring some posters and things and some of my collection to Washington. Dean was doing the show there, and afterwards you signed your book, and we were able to display some of the stuff. And through that, a couple of pieces of the collection are now, because of Dina and John, part of the Smithsonian Institute. Yes,
wow. And there's also
that was a card.
There's a card there. Yeah, I did. There's also him doing jokes and stuff in the front before they get to that serious part, which is really funny as well. So Walt, where do you want to go with this now? Because Jim has a whole bunch of information that we don't know. Where would you like to start?
Well, you got to start with the first part of this that intrigues me is how is he friends with Dina Martin? How did that happen?
Well, through all the years of collecting, since I've been 13 years old, Dean was my idol. And whatever I saw a picture of him or his family, I would cut it out of magazines. And that was my hobby. I'd watch old movies on a little TV set and cut these things out while my friends are out playing baseball and going bowling and basketball. I wasn't good at any sports, but I really loved show business. So, but Dean just struck me as somebody who was really cool. I wanted to be like him. So I just started collecting all kinds of stuff that had to do with him and his records and movie posters and things like that. And over the years, I had about 600 or 700 pictures cut out, not with just Dean. I've got 10,000 of those of him or with his family or just his family alone. When they'd go out to dinner, the paparazzi would be there, take pictures. And if it had Dean Martin on it, even if he wasn't in the picture, I cut it out and I saved it. So
this is a stalker. This is what a stalker does, by the way.
Yeah, almost. Yeah. So but what happened was I put everything on a videotape to try and catalog my stuff. And I got Dean Martin's, after he passed away, I got Dean Martin's wife's address, his wife, Jeannie. And I sent the videotape to her. And a few weeks later, I got a call back from someone that was a friend of hers and said, well, Jeannie wanted to call you, but she is right now, her daughter, Gina, was married to the one of the Beach Boys, the one that passed away.
Wilson, Brian Wilson?
Was it Brian Wilson? She was married to him, and she was busy consoling and being with her daughter. But she saw pictures on this video of her children she's never seen before. So she would like you to know if you can make copies for her, and she'll pay you. She'll give you, whatever the costs are, whatever you want. And I said, let me put some things together. Let me check it out. And I went. It took me about 3 months to look through all of my stuff, take out the pictures, scan them, print them, and I made 3 different books, put them in the plastic sleeves, sent them to Jeannie Martin. A couple of weeks later, I got a call. I was at work, so she left a message on the machine. I wish I had been home to take her message. She thanked me for sending everything. I had told her I didn't want any money. If she was going to send me a check, it was going to mess up her checkbook because I would add it to my collection because it had her name and address on it. That's how strange I am. So she said, I really think you should take something, but I understand. Thank you very much. We're looking at these books now. Me and the girls were laughing hysterically at some of these because they're so young. They didn't know they had pictures taken of them at that time. So very complimentary. She said, but I'm going to send you something only the children have as a thank you, if that's okay. And she said, thank you very much, and hung up. And I'm not one to try and call back. I didn't want to be, like you said, a stalker. I'm not that way. Yeah. But I didn't want to bother.
Too late.
Was nice enough to call me. So a few weeks later, again, I got something in the mail, a box in the mail, and I opened it up, and I thought it was a poster. And I've got thousands of posters of Dean Martin. So I said, well, this is nice. She said that, and it had, it was a frame with glass, and it had a frosted covering on it. And I started peeling it away, and I saw just the edge of what it was that she sent me. And I went nuts. I went ballistic. I screamed. My son came running in like, what happened? What, is it? So let me show you what she sent me.
He's got it here with him.
Oh, you saw it already.
No, I didn't. It's in the bag. Oh,
Look
wow.
at that, huh? Holy
there we go.
Nikes. Is that real?
This is, oh yeah. Yeah, it's one of his gold records.
Wow.
And I left the note she sent, I left at home because it's very fragile. But she said to Jim, if anyone deserves a Dean Martin gold record, it is most certainly you. Thank you very much.
How kind is that? How kind.
Now,
how much is that worth? Never mind how kind. How much is that worth?
I really don't know. I never looked it up. To a collector, it could be worth a lot. Right. To somebody that doesn't care, it's worth nothing.
Right.
So that's collecting.
But do you care?
Well, he's got a sentimental value to this.
Well, yeah, but still, what if it's worth $2 million?
He would keep it. I know Jim would keep it.
I don't.
Yeah.
I've been offered $350,000 for my collection, and I won't. I don't. It's my collection. I'll leave it to my kids. They can sell it when I'm gone. That's their. I'm not leaving them anything else.
most people today are buying Bitcoin.
But a few years later, we went to see Ricky Martin. Dean's son was performing in Atlantic City, and I brought that along. And halfway through his show, he has a little question and answer thing with the audience. And I waited to be the last one. And as he was going back on stage, I raised my hand. I said, Ricky. He said, oh, I missed one. What? Yes. You have a question? I said, no, I want to show you something. And I showed him that. And he was like,
stop.
Where did you get that?
Give me that, you thief.
I said, your mother sent it to me.
OJ.
He said, I don't even have one of those.
Is that right?
I said, your mother has a lot of class. She didn't have to do that. I didn't ask for anything when I
it would be really funny if you turn around and say, well, that was the day I disowned her, which started giving away everyone my dad's record.
Yeah, so that's
we stopped speaking.
But to get back to your original question was, how did I meet Dina?
Yeah.
after I sent the pictures and the books to them, I got a phone call from her husband, John, and said, is this Jim Monaco? He has a very deep voice. I thought it was God. I didn't know. It's is this Jim Monaco? Yes, it is. And he said, those pictures that you sent, where did you get those? And I said, oh, I'm going to get sued for plagiarism. I made copies. Oh my God. So I told him, I explained exactly the story I told you. I told John. And he said, well, I just want you to know that Dean Martin's daughter, who wants to speak with you, is ecstatic that you did this for the family. And she's here right now. Do you want to talk to her? I said, wait, yeah. And that's how we met. And then they invited my wife and myself to an awards dinner that they were giving Dean a cable award for entertainment. This was after he passed away, but she was going to accept it. And he said, would you like to come? And I said, well, how much is it? And he said, it's $500 a ticket. I said, John, let me think about it. So
you think I have to sell off one of my collections?
Yeah. So 2 weeks later,
just sold the album.
He calls me back and he said, Jim, I need to know. We have to let them know if you're going to the dinner. I said, John, I can't afford $1,000 like that. I really not right now. And he said, no, as our guests. And I went, oh, what was the date again? Let me check. Yes, we'll be there. And
I would have thought that right off the bat.
And this is when I'm sorry.
I would have thought that right off the bat that they were inviting you as their guests.
I didn't know. He didn't say it.
They're probably nervous and everything, right?
I was kind of naive. So we met them for the first time. They were on the dance floor. I took a picture of them, and the picture ended up in the middle of a book she wrote a couple of years later. And she gave me a little caption on the bottom that I took the picture. So it was nice. And then there's 2 or 3 paragraphs towards the end of the book about me and the collection. So that's how we met. And we've been to their home. They invited us out for my 59th birthday. We went to their house for a week out. They live in Branson, Missouri. And we were the first ones that they ever invited to stay at their new home. And it's just, there's such nice people. They're just every day, there's no air about them. They paid for everything. They took us ice cream. They said, what do you want for your birthday? I said, well, I usually get hot dogs in the afternoon and I do ribs at night.
He's a health nut.
They took me for hot dogs in the afternoon and then we went for dinner and had ribs at night.
And they had Cresto for dessert.
And so
look at you, Jim. Look at you, Jim. You were in Dina Martin's house and John Peasy's house in one lifetime.
That's right. And
all I gave was a bottle of water.
So I did something right.
That is a great story.
Pleasure. I'm glad I've heard a lot about you.
It's all not true.
That's a great story, though.
Yeah. Well, that's how it all started, and but there's a lot about collecting, that people don't know. And I did want to talk about the puppets in the Smithsonian, though. That was through Dina and John. She was just starting her new career of performing again, or getting back into performing again. And she did a short show at the Smithsonian. And she had a nice audience, but she had to go and change. And they were running out of time. So they said, Jim, could you talk about Dean for a few minutes? I said, well, how long? Said about a half hour. I said, okay. I said, I got some things I can show them. I did the story I just told you. I told the audience. And after I did the talk, after she did her show and her interview, the curator came up to me and said, kiddingly, but not kiddingly, would you like to donate something from the collection to the Smithsonian? I said, as a matter of fact, I brought doubles of my puppets because I've got 3 sets at home.
Are those any of those pictures?
What do you mean, like
the puppets?
Puppets?
Where is it?
Oh, you had them up there before. I don't know which.
Is that the puppets? I see
No. They might be on that table. Oh, go back. See them in the little plastic right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And then in the back is the box that it came in. It was a puppet show.
Wow.
Okay, so they sold for like $3.95 back then.
Back in the day.
Now they're worth about $795 for that box.
Wow.
I'll
But
give you 400. I'll give you 400 right now.
so what I did was I just gave them the puppets and the flag. I didn't give them the whole box. I only had the one box. But if I have doubles and something like that comes up, I donate it. But if I didn't have doubles, I wouldn't have donated it to the
Oh, wait a minute.
Smithsonian.
Are you buying the second one from somebody and then you donate it anyway? I mean, in a sense like that.
Well, no, if they come up and the price is right, or I make a deal, or I trade with somebody, I'll trade for doubles, and because I know that the puppets are worth something to somebody. But if I only have one item of something, I will not get rid of it.
Understood.
Now, you think the Smithsonian would be interested in this?
In about 90 years, maybe.
Because I got this at Ollie's for $1.99.
By the way, I don't know about you. I love the Dean Martin Celebrity Roast. I watched.
So do I.
I have them. I have them all too.
Dude, $1.99.
It's great. They're great. To this day, they're great. They're politically incorrect, and that's another reason
sorry.
it's so great.
It was $9.99.
There you go. Stop this.
$9.99 at Ollie's for Dean Martin's roasts. But yeah, I used to love them.
The roast is timeless. The stuff is timeless. It's funny. It's funny to this day. As a matter of fact, a lot of the great comics today that do roasts look back at that and rewrite that kind of material.
Like me, when I first met Peasy, it was on a roast, and I said to Daddario, ever since the Dean Martin roast, I wanted to be. He goes, "You want to be on a dais?" I said, "Absolutely, I want to be on a dais." I had never done it before, and that's Dean Martin roast was the reason I wanted to do it. I would love those things.
Now, also about the Dean Martin, I've heard that he really didn't drink, that he had apple juice in his drink. Is that true?
Yeah, well, he liked a scotch at supper time, but one. I mean, he wouldn't.
So he wasn't.
Yeah, but on stage he'd be smoking and drinking, but that wasn't alcohol. And
no.
I think I saw something where Sammy Davis was having problems with his wife, and Sinatra and old Peter Lawford were always out drinking and womanizing, and Dino would go back to his room, not drunk and just stay in his room.
Yeah, he wanted to get up at 5 a.m. and play golf. That's what he did, and they wanted to carouse, and Sinatra had to have his entourage, and Sinatra couldn't sleep. He had insomnia, so he was up all night, and if he said be there, Sammy would be there, and all these other hangers-on would be there because Sinatra said, "I want you here." Where Dean would say, "Bye, I'm going to bed," and Dean was the only one that can really get away with it, with Sinatra not getting mad at him.
I think it was the movie called The Rat Pack, where, if you remember, Bobby Slayton played Joey Bishop in the movie.
Bishop, yep.
He played Joey Bishop, but we had Slayton on this show. And that was the movie where they showed Dino, where he was like a lonely guy who went back to his room, and they all partied in the Vegas casinos.
Yeah. That would be me. I would be going back to my room. I wouldn't be partying with the guys. I'd be going back.
Probably about 10 years ago, I would have went out and partied with them. Now, give me a glass of milk and I don't know, a belly rub and I'm done.
But speaking of Joey Bishop, I had gotten his address and sent him some copies of posters from different countries that had him on the posters, where the ones in America with the Rat Pack, very seldom did they have Joey Bishop in them. They had the three main guys.
Sure.
Maybe
Frank and
Lawford, but hardly any of them had Joey Bishop on it. And I had some, so I sent them copies, and I sent them the originals and asked him to sign them for me, if he would. And I sent postage and envelopes and everything. And he sent them back. And I got a phone call one day, and I said, "Hello, hi, this is Joey Bishop. Is this Jim Monaco?" "Oh man, yeah, yes, Mr. Bishop, this is Jim Monaco." He said, "I just want to thank you for sending these to me, because, like you said, I'm hardly on anything of the movie posters here for some reason in America, and some of the ones from Italy and Belgium and Mexico, there's so much more colorful than the ones here made in the United States. The movie posters that you see in the in the lobbies and on the outside of the
Yeah,
theater.
yeah.
And he called me up personally to thank me. So there's another guy. I've heard a few bad stories about him, but I don't care.
Only
He
the way they
called
treat
me.
you. That's right.
He called me,
Can't take-
and because I didn't ask for anything except an autograph. And he's, matter of fact, he says, "What can I do for you?" I said, "I don't know." What he says, I got to send you something.
Gold record would be nice.
I said, "I don't
He
think
didn't have it. He didn't have it.
He said, "I do have a picture that I can autograph for you. I'm on the golf course, and you'll never guess who my caddy is." And I said, "Yeah, I really wouldn't."
Sinatra.
I don't know. He said it was Harpo Marx, but
Really?
without all of the gear on,
Yeah.
And he was very proud that he was on the golf course with Harpo Marx being his caddy. So he signed that for me and sent it to me. So there's another nice guy, I feel anyway.
Somebody
Well-
just, and by the way, Labor Day is not the same without Jerry Lewis and the telethon. Sonny Maxon, who's a friend of mine, says, was Martin actually a drunk when Sinatra brought him on stage to reunite Dean and Jerry
No.
at the telethon? Was he drunk during that time?
Well, according to Jerry Lewis in one of the books he wrote, he did say he smelled some alcohol on Dean's breath at when he walked on. How much he would have been drinking, I don't know, because Dean had an ulcer, so he had to watch what he was, how much he would drink anyway. But he may have. I mean, that was a moment that millions and millions of people were watching that show.
You may want to drink at that
and
moment.
and he was, I mean, you can actually see the sincerity on Dean's face when he walked on and hugged Jerry. I mean, I watched that over and over again, that segment.
They're like brothers. They
I-
were brothers.
No, yeah, they were. It was like just, and they hugged, and then they tried to get back together again, and Jerry said then that Dean really didn't respond after that. So
Just wanted to close the book.
you know,
But let me
yeah.
ask you this question, because I remember seeing Jerry say that it was what really broke them up wasn't themselves, but powers beyond them, powers that be, or something like that. What do you know about that?
Well, as far as I've read, and I've read hundreds of books on the subject, there was some of that. Dean's people saying, "Look, you don't need him," and Jerry's guy saying, "You don't need the singer. You're much too funny." But Jerry was into Charlie Chaplin and trying to be more creative and more Buster Keatonish. And the Martin and Lewis movies just weren't doing it. I mean, they were taking just old movies and rewriting them. As a matter of fact, one of them, the Martin and Lewis movie, was again redone as the Roustabout with Elvis Presley, and they cut out the Jerry Lewis part, for that movie. So Hal Wallace just took these scripts and just redid them, and they had Dean.
Made money though, no?
Yeah, but they had Dean singing the monkeys and the elephants, and he was like, "This is not what." Plus, he was the heel in every movie. He was the bad guy, and who turned the good guy at the end. And it was always pathos with Jerry. But Jerry wanted to learn more about cameras, directing, being more creative in not just being slapstick. Where Dean was like, "Just give me the script. I'm going to do my golf. I'm going to go out. Let's just make millions of dollars." But then Jerry got a little too much with if you see the very last time not the last time they performed, but it's what broke the straw that broke the camel's back, because they were doing one of those Saturday night Colgate comedy hours, and Jerry jumped on Dean's back and was pulling his hair and slapping him in the head, and you can see Dean was getting angry and said, "It's over. That's it. It's over." And after that, he said, "I'm done. As I can't take this anymore." And they were together 10 years, made a bundle. Best thing that happened to them was they met, became partners, and they split, because look how big they got.
Yeah,
on their own, bigger.
But when they first broke up, if I remember correctly, I remember Jerry Lewis's career was on fire, and
Yes.
and Dean's was really questionable at that time, right?
Yes, Dean, his first movie alone was 10,000 Bedrooms. That tanked. It just went down. Then Jerry did the Delicate Delinquent, and it was a big smash. And then Jerry also went to Vegas to take Judy Garland's place. Judy Garland wasn't feeling well, and she was sitting in the audience, but she wasn't feeling up to performing. So he performed for her, and at the end, he said, "What do you usually close with?" And she said, "Rockabye Your Baby." So Jerry sang "Rockabye Your Baby," and they recorded that. It did so well. They went into the studio, recorded it, and that became a million seller. And Dean's got, I mean, Dean had million sellers before, but not now. And he was like, well, I'm sitting here, sucking wind. I don't know what I'm going to do now.
Right.
Okay. So they offered him a part in The Young Lions, which was a straight dramatic part, which he never had before. And they said to him, would you mind taking a big cut? They're only going to pay you $25,000 compared to the millions you were getting to be in a movie with Marlon Brando and Montgomery Clift. And Dean said, would I mind? I'll pay you to take the part. And that was the start of his acting career. He went on.
And he proved himself after that.
He proved himself
right.
Until later on when, the movies got a little sillier. And then, of course, the Matt Helm things came out, which he made a fortune on. And
I love them, too. Well, that was like a goof on James Bond, right?
Yes, yeah. And The Silencers actually was one of the first movies in New York that played 24 hours around the clock because it did so well. But he had a percentage of everything that he did, so he made more money sometimes from the percentage of the movies being hits.
Well, yeah.
Like Airport, he made
that's right
millions from
Airport. He was the pilot.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
Airport.
He took.
Did he lose his eyesight? Something. It hit him, and he had the bandage across his eyes, and he was in love with like one of the stewardess.
No, she had the bandages. He couldn't fly a plane if he had bandages on it. So where'd you get this guy?
I don't know. Remember, he's starting to slip.
No, I thought that Peter Graves or something like that took over as the pilot or something. Was it Leslie Nielsen?
Wrong
in that
airplane, wrong one. Yeah, but Dean was very smart. When he did his TV show, he did it one day a week, and he got $34 million.
I heard this
a season. Okay, what he did was
he didn't practice, right? Everybody else did.
He rehearsed on the golf course. They put it on a tape recorder. He listened to the songs. He had cue cards, and it was the first show that when they made mistakes or if he cursed, every once in a while he'd curse. They beep it, but you can see what he said, and people loved it, so they kept it in.
Sure.
But he did one day a week. He said, "That's it, because I'm doing 2 movies a year, 2 albums. I do 6 weeks in Vegas. I don't want to be tied down to a TV show." So he gave them all kinds of ridiculous requests. And if I don't want to sing, I don't have to. I'm just going to come out and introduce. Okay, well, he said, well, yeah, all right. Well,
34 mil was for 3 years, right? 3 years of shows.
Yeah, and he was on for 15 or 16. But he the funny part about that was he started. Do you remember the show, the Hollywood Palace?
No, I don't remember.
Okay, Hollywood Palace came on. What happened was Jerry Lewis had a talk show on Saturday nights. I don't know if it was like 2 hours long, and after 13 weeks it bombed.
I don't remember this at all.
Yeah, well, I get all of the
videos.
I got some videos and the write-ups on it. Jerry Lewis had ABC build this to take a studio and redo the whole thing for millions and millions of dollars, and this thing tanked really bad. Had the worst audience participation. It just went nowhere.
Good.
They canceled them, and they put this Hollywood Palace on. Now, Hollywood Palace every week had a different host: Bing Crosby, Jimmy Durante, Milton Berle, and then they had Dean Martin on. And Dean, matter of fact, when the first time he was on, one of his guests was the Rolling Stones.
Wow.
Okay, and they came on. They were just starting. And the funny thing is, I mean, it's not funny for Rolling Stones fans, but after they sang their song, Dean came out and he said, "Hey, yeah, weren't they great?" Like that. He gave him a face, and everybody laughed because they were bad. They were bad, and nobody was.
They were bad.
I don't know, but it was like who watched? Even the Beatles didn't do that Mick Jagger stuff that he did, So the next time Dean was on, the ratings for Hollywood Palace went through the roof. So NBC said, we got to get this guy, but he didn't want to do a weekly show.
How great is it to be an entertainer and be saying, I don't want to do something.
I don't want to do it.
Money, I don't want to do it.
They threw it, and he said 1 day a week, which was unheard of. And I don't want to rehearse. I'll do a run through real quick, just and have cue cards.
And obviously, he didn't need the money at this time.
No.
He's there. He was done. He's made.
But he said they said, yeah. He said, well, how stupid? Okay, if you're that stupid, I'm going to take the job. Okay. So for the first year, his show didn't do too well, and then they fired the producer, and they took the director, Greg Garrison, and made him the producer. And Greg Garrison said, look, you got Dean singing the puppets, and you're introducing elephant acts and acrobats. That's Ed Sullivan. We need the girls. We need Vegas. We need, and they brought that on, and Dean was in his element. And from then on, it was for the 60s. Dean owned the 60s. When he made an album, he was able to sing the songs on his show, which promoted the songs. If he made a movie, they showed previews during his show. And his show hit #1. It was in the top 10 for a couple of years. He even made #1. And he would take some of his money that they were going to give him and took RCA stock. He wasn't stupid. Wow. He took RCA stock, and RCA made all the plugs for you. Even today, you see the RCA plugs in the back of all of these computers and stuff. He made more money from that and more money from Airport, because they said in Airport, look, we'll give you $350,000 or a percentage or $1 million up front. He said, give me the percentage. He didn't need the money. He says, I think it's going to be a hit.
It's taking a roll.
Burt Lancaster, who was the star of the film, said, no, give me the $1 million. Dean made like 10 compared to the 1, because he was a very smart businessman. And
but what did George Kennedy do?
Oh yeah, he was.
George Kennedy took beefaroni.
But I understand he had very humble beginnings. He was born in like Ohio.
Steubenville. Yeah, he was an iron worker, and he was a boxer for a while. Kid Crochet, they called him.
King Crochet.
Okay, until they broke his nose, because he had a nose like mine for a while.
Italian nose.
And then he had it fixed. Had his teeth fixed, and then he was a croupier. He would deal, and he had a hole. He tells the story. He had a hole in his pocket, and he wore these big shoes. I said, "Why are you wearing big shoes?" He says, "Never mind. I like them big and roomy." And he would every once in a while take money from the table and put it in his pocket with a hole and slide down into his shoe, so he'd make a couple extra bucks. At night.
Yeah, that with all the video cameras.
That was safe.
No.
That was safe back in those old day Vegas.
But that's how he learned, and then he'd go to Vegas, and they would take over the tables, him and Sinatra, and they would deal to people and let them win. And he was a great guy. I heard no bad stories about him from anybody.
Who was Dean's favorite out of the Rat Pack? Who was his favorite to hang out? Sammy, Frank? Did he not like Frank?
He didn't hang out with any of them. He always said that he and Frank were like brothers, but he tolerated Frank, and he got Frank out of, as far as I've read, out of a lot of fist fights and stuff, where he said, Frank, come on, the guy's trying to make a living. What are you doing? Let him take your picture. Or one guy told me when they played the Westchester later on in the 70s, we went to see them. And again, we didn't try to go meet them or anything backstage, but some people did, and they would wait for an hour and a half in the back in the cold. And Sinatra came out, and they said, "Frank, could you sign the program?" And he said, "No, I don't do that. I don't sign autographs." And he got in the limo. So Dean came out and said, "They said, Dean, would you sign it?" And he said, "Sure, come over." And he signed everybody's that was there. And he said, "Well, where's Frank's autograph?" They said, "Well, he wouldn't sign it." He knocked on the limo window. Sinatra's, "Frank, sign their books with him. Would you? Come on, they're waiting here for an hour and a half." So Frank would sign them. And other times I hear that Frank Sinatra would give thousands of dollars to help somebody, or $100 for the guy to go get his car out of the parking lot. So it depends. I guess it's dependent on his mood. Where with Dean, it was always, he would sign, he would do whatever, take a picture. Even towards the end of his life in the restaurant, he would let them come up to his table take a picture with them.
That's
as long as
awesome.
you didn't bother them. As long as you didn't bother them,
Yep.
and didn't take too much time from them. But
safe to say you don't have a Sinatra Gold album.
No,
Not yet.
Not quite.
Not yet.
I love Sinatra, Nancy Sinatra.
Yeah.
No, I always joke about that. I like Frank's '60s stuff. You know, I'm not crazy about the Fly Me to the Moon and all of that for whatever reason, but I do like the stuff. You know, it was a very good year. Something Stupid that he sang with his daughter. I'm sorry, not that. Yeah, Something Stupid. Very good year. That's Life. My Way. You know, those are all great. So I do like some Sinatra, but
and then at the end, he died in '95, right?
Yes,
he died in '95.
Christmas morning.
Yep.
Dean died on Christmas morning at like 3 a.m, almost to the minute that his mother had passed away.
Wow.
She died on Christmas morning, also years before.
Did not know that. But I did know that he was the first guy that Vegas ever dimmed the lights for. Is that true?
Oh, I never heard that.
No, I think they dimmed them for somebody else before. I think they dimmed them for Elvis.
I don't know about that.
No, I don't, because Elvis was.
I don't think they did.
No.
Out of order.
I think Dean Martin was the first one, and then Sinatra was the second one.
Maybe I'd have to look that up.
Look that up. I'm almost positive that's it.
That'd be interesting if you're telling something to Jim about this guy. You know, that'd be super interesting. Let's ask you some quickies, real quickie. How many kids did he have?
He had 7. And he always joked that people would applaud, and he'd say, no, it only took me 7 minutes total. So, but he had 7. He had
guilty
4 from his first wife, and 3 from his second wife, Jeannie.
Who's the apple in his eye?
Well, it depends on who you were talking to at the time, but I think Dino.
Better say Dina.
Dino, his son Dino.
Well, his son Dino was the one who passed away, and then his life deteriorated after that, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but
you know what's interesting too? Wasn't Ocean's 11 made from? That was the Rat Pack movie.
Yes,
with Dean Martin.
Yes,
I never saw the original. I understand that's where it came from because they've redone this now.
Yeah. What they did was they shot the movie during the day. And then they played the Sands at night, and they had more fun doing the Sands than doing the movie because Sinatra was like one take. That's it. Louis Milestone, who was a great director in his time, couldn't control the Rat Pack. And Dean would go up to him and say, Louis, it's only a movie. Come on, just
take it easy.
Because Sinatra only wanted one take. That's it. Let's do it.
The original movie and the remake. I mean, the remake was great because it had George Clooney, Brad Pitt, had everybody in it. Elliot Gould. There was a difference in the movies. If you remember, if you know, Jim, I mean, you'll know. And John, you didn't see the first one.
I didn't see the first, but that was my next question.
In the second movie, they got away with the money that they stole from the casino.
Right.
The first one, they didn't get away with the money from the casino because they put it in a coffin, and they thought they were getting away with it, but the guy got cremated.
Right.
So how true to life is the first movie versus the remakes? And is the first one true to life, or is it just?
Oh, well, no, the first one, I mean, they robbed 5 casinos on New Year's Eve and I mean, they had all these gimmicks with the fluorescent footprints and the goggles and it was really just a lark.
Just a lark. Okay.
But it was a fun movie. It's still a fun movie to watch.
And the second one was they robbed the Bellagio in Vegas, but the Bellagio had MGM's money in there, and it had Treasure Island's money in there, so it was the safe for all of the MGM properties.
Now I want to watch the movie.
It's a great movie. Both of them were great.
Got to put it on my list after Debbie does Dallas. I'm putting it on my list.
Behind the green door. See if you get behind the green door.
I'm only up to 1973 right now. I'm like,
it's they do have a couple of songs in there. Sammy sings EO 11, and Dean sings Ain't That a Kick in the Head for the first time, which was not a hit at that time. It was released, but now it's like pretty much his theme song.
Standard.
Standard, rather than Everybody Loves Somebody, which was his big hit.
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
60s.
yeah.
He
Or
knocked
That's
the
Amore.
Beatles. Well, That's Amore was from the Caddy with Jerry Lewis, but the Everybody Loves Somebody was another one of those things where it just fell into Dean's lap. He was making a mood album called Dream with Dean. And one of the songs, usually he didn't argue about anything, but one of the songs on the album he wasn't crazy about. So he said, I'd rather not do that one. Can we get another one? So Ken Lane, his piano player, had written a song, Everybody Loves Somebody, that Sinatra had recorded years before just on an album. Never was released as a single, and that didn't go anywhere. And he said, well, how about, Dean, how about my song, Everybody Loves Somebody? So they did it, and they put it on. It was nice, and they did a nice slow version. Everybody loves somebody. Very, very solemn, very nice.
Yeah.
With just a three-piece combo. Jimmy Bowen, who was a record producer, listened to it, and he said, gee, if I add some singers, jazz it up a little bit, I think we'd have a hit. So on his next album, they did the same song, but jazzed it up, and they said, that's a hit. Let's put it out. And it knocked the Beatles off of the #1 in the charts for 4 weeks.
Wow.
What song was it?
They had 4 or 5.
I heard it. Was it called The Beetle Killer? Is that what it was called?
It was Beetle Buster Martin.
Beetle Buster Martin. Right. I heard that.
And he wrote, so Dean wrote to Elvis, and Dean Martin was one of Elvis's idols. Elvis used to hang around the outside of Dean's house sometimes, waiting for Dean to come home to say hello.
You never would have thought of that.
No. But he met Dina and all the kids, and he said, that's right, baby. One of those things is, they call me the king of rock and roll, but your dad is the king of cool.
The king of cool.
And that's where they got the name King of Cool from.
I didn't know that. Here's Jim, you might know this. How many songs has Elvis Presley written in his lifetime?
Written?
Yes.
As far as I know, he didn't write any, but he put his name on a lot of them.
0. He wrote 0 songs.
But he had his name on some of them, though.
Yeah, every one of them were written for him or a copy of them.
Right.
Really?
If you believe it. Here's another thing. I would have never thought this. How many places did Elvis Presley perform outside of the United States?
Who knows?
That one,
I don't know.
0.
Not even Germany?
Nope.
What about all
this?
Why? Hawaii and all that singing?
Hawaii,
no.
the United States.
No. He was supposed to do something up in Canada, and he never did it. But he never went. Colonel Tom Parker, that scumbag, never booked him outside of the country because he was here illegally, and he never thought he would get back here.
Excuse that word, Colonel Parker.
No.
Sorry, I didn't mean to use that word. I know how touchy you are with that.
Me, yeah.
But yeah, Elvis. Listen, you're right in my wheelhouse. I go out in my backyard in the summertime. We put the music on in the first CD we used to put on, but now it's a Bluetooth. It's Dean Martin, because you got that playing in the back, in the backyard. Everybody loves that.
True.
And I don't even go for the Sinatra because it's too slow for me. Ain't That a Kick in the Head is a fun, up and peppy song.
You'll notice that a lot of commercials have Dean in the background. Okay.
And why is that? Why do you think that is?
I don't know. It's
pay the estate.
Somebody's still making money off of them. It's not cheap to do that.
Dina and his son.
I'm sure that the estate makes some money on it. But I've been sitting with these here. I just want you to know I
want to show these pictures too before we run out of time.
But there is
he's sitting here with an extra pair of pants.
My favorite movie of all time is Rio Bravo.
Okay.
It was like Dean's 1, 2, 3, his third dramatic role, and I think he did really great in it as the drunken deputy. And as a collector, we'll get back to the collecting thing. I'm always looking for something different. Also, I do have spurs that he wore in one of his movies. These are the pants he wore at the end of Rio Bravo. as he's over here. Here we go.
On the screen there. Yeah.
Yeah, we got pictures of him. So as a collector, I brought these to one of the Dean Martin
corduroys.
Yeah.
You don't see corduroys much anymore.
But how do you know?
Supposed to be back in 1870.
How do you prove that?
Huh?
How do you prove that?
Well, we got first he's got his name, and there's a number inside from the Western Costume Company, and you get a certificate.
Oh, yeah. There is. I see it.
You get a certificate with it that it is it's real. Because I do have a couple of other pieces from Rio Bravo, a spittoon, a beer mug, and a shot glass. So I'm into that kind of stuff too. If I can get any kind of
I can't believe that
props.
Walt is wearing that shirt, and it's real.
Yeah, this was the shirt that Marty McFly was supposed to wear, but
in the beginning he did say that's his new look. What was his old look like?
It's worse.
I used to wear Dean Martin shirts, but then I grew out of that.
Okay. Well, I'm proud to say I didn't.
He's trying to dig you. He's trying to dig you.
That's okay. No, I'm 71 years old, and I'm still.
Listen,
you're 71, Jim.
I'm old, man.
Yeah, you're up there.
How many shirts? How many Dino shirts do you have?
Probably about 20. I got.
And you wear them all the time?
No. We're just wearing this. You'll see how clean this is. I'll put it back. I don't wear them all the time.
He put it as he came into the studio. He prepped himself to come in.
Yeah, my hat.
He came in actually wearing a beautiful Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah.
Is it blue like this?
Yeah, he wanted to look like you, but hey,
listen, Sissy, Kathy Garver loved me in my shirt that time we had her on from Family.
Again, Walt. Again, I'm telling you, they tell you it's a nice shirt. They laugh, and then behind your back. And
I get a lot of people. They love it.
They love the Hawaiian. Are you serious?
The other day, I had a shirt on that had Batman surfing on this side and the Joker surfing on this side.
Okay, stop bragging.
That's really good.
I don't like to brag. Listen. It's not a Dean Martin shirt, but hey.
Hey, I want to show you. Jim has a couple of pictures here.
Go ahead.
That he sent me. Maybe you could really quickly describe. We only got like another several minutes left. I want to see. This is the first picture. Show me. This is. I'll make it large so you can see it bigger. There you go for us.
Okay, you'll see that there's different statues that people made. The one that's got the lamp on it actually had a ball that said bar on it, and there was a fire in my house, and that fell over and tipped over and broke it. So my mother made the top of the lamp for me. So she turned that into a lamp. If you see the 78s on the bottom, okay, those are his first 5 records ever made.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then the 2 small ones that look like rainbows there are the last 2 that he made for MCA Records.
They're real or they're copies?
No, they're real. No,
everything's real. It's the real deal.
And there's cigarette lighters. There's Martin and Lewis cigarette lighters. A lot of Martin and Lewis stuff because they put their pictures and their likeness on all kinds of things, which they made money from.
Let me show you another quick picture here. I'll blow it up big for us to see.
Yeah, you'll see that the kerchief there on the bottom, the Martin Lewis kerchief, is very is worth a lot of money now. The puppets things up there. They had tuck tape, like Scotch tape, but different dispensers and things like that. You'll see
1,000 jokes. I see.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. I have every. The Martin and Lewis comic books. There's the whole set. You'll see they're
what is something like that worth today? Those kind of
it depends on how good they are. Some are in mint condition, some are have little tears in them, just like baseball cards. But it depends on who's buying it. Who is like I'd pay $500 for something that you wouldn't pay $5 for because you're not a collector. Exactly. Now that big poster is a one-of-a-kind painted by hand from Mexico.
Wow.
From a movie he made called Who's Got the Action with Lana Turner. In Mexico it's called Trampa a mi Marido. I don't know what Marido.
I like the Trampa better.
Yeah.
Hey Jim, is this all displayed in your house?
All those little books there, those are all TV guides that Martin and Lewis are on. And
that's awesome. I love those.
So yeah, those are worth a lot of money now too. They're it's just crazy.
Jim, you have that all displayed in your house at all the time?
No. It's all packed in boxes and things. And
it is.
the first time I ever took these to Ohio and set them up, I was in awe of myself because I was like, I didn't know I had all of this stuff. I know I have it, but to look at it all set up, hundreds and hundreds of posters. And
how long does it take you to put that all together? For
like 12 hours to put it up and about 5 or 6 hours to take it down.
Can anybody come to you and actually say, "Hey, can you bring this to us? We'd like to
Yes,
display."
we've had
this is something you've seen in the Las Vegas Museum, really.
Well, we've talked about doing something like that, but it's you got to sell a lot of tickets to pay for the rent if we wanted to rent the place out, or try and get like this. Well, this Sands isn't there anymore, but one of the places to do maybe a Rat Pack week or something like that.
This may be an interesting thing for you too. I have a friend of mine. He's a ventriloquist. He has old ventriloquial vintage puppets.
Mm-hmm.
He's out of Vegas, and he took all the puppets, put them into beautiful clear. What are you laughing at, Walt?
Dude, every conversation starts with, "I have a ventriloquist friend."
I do. That's all I have. I also have a friend that wears these wonderful shirts. But I have this guy. He has these puppets. They're worth a lot of money from history, and he made up glass cases. Then they had travel cases, ATA cases. ATA cases open. Out comes these glass displays, and he travels around. This happened just before COVID, but he travels around at museums. They pay him like thousands of dollars to come in and park these ventriloquial figures at their museum as a display for 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 10 days, whatever. And he's there, sells books, and he's also explaining what the display is about. This would be interesting to take that concept and bring it across the country at different museums, history places and all that. These what do you call it? Like it's stuff called cultural centers and things like that, where you get they pay you X amount to come and display it for a week at a time. Be a great place to keep you on the road.
Be interested to talk to somebody about it because I don't have those kind of connections. But sometimes like you call me out of the blue to do this. A couple of months ago, Turner Classic Movies gave me a call, and they're doing a documentary on Dean Martin, and Dina had told them about the collection.
Right.
So we set it up. We got a VFW. And set it up, and even at the VFW, I didn't have enough room to put everything that I have, but we did.
Just for
we all these pictures that you're seeing that you're putting up are from that show. And I've got the slot machine from Atlantic City.
I saw that slot machine in the background. And by the way, this
is the big statue.
It's a picture of Walt as a baby.
Nemo wants to kill me.
This is one I didn't show, but I did see
the pants. Those are the pants.
In the back,
those are the
corner,
pants.
I see
there's and it works,
right? And then in this one,
Now my head is spinning here because I do have access to a theater, right? And I can do something like this, and I could do it as a service to the town, as an event. But how do you make money out of it?
Well, so far I've not made any money when I take these out. What I do ask is, now I just ask for the expenses to be covered because I have to rent a truck.
They're giving you time also. You're going to spend all the time.
Yeah, well, I've never charged for that. I would like to, but people that have asked me to do it, we've done it for charity.
How about a donation for a charity and you take a little piece?
Well, I've never thought of it that way, but whatever. If there's something that can be worked out, that's fine. But I've never made any money on this collection.
He's a good man. You see, he's an honorable man. And
but I think something I have a room that would, a theater that could handle this, and I would just love to do it, but I don't want you to do it for nothing. I would want you to make some money somehow.
How big is the theater? How many people would fit in it?
I have a 689 seat theater, which is a theater, but I have a 200 seat room that I could just put tables around the perimeter.
Right.
We can make a part donation to get him new shirts. So that would be a really good thing. I think people will donate.
Which
Sugarloaf, New York.
Where is
Sugarloaf Theater, the Sugarloaf Performing Arts Center in New York. Where do you live, Jim?
Is it New York City?
No,
it's upstate.
Chester, near
not
Chester.
far upstate.
Okay.
It's by West Point.
Hour and 20.
Okay, yeah.
He's down here in South Jersey.
Okay. I'm just thinking it would be something great that I could, because I am the recreation director in town, so I can put this out as an event for the town to come and see.
Well, we can talk about it. I mean, I'm as long as my schedule is open, and we do need like 6 volunteers to help unload this stuff and reload it. But I mean, I'll talk to you about that. No
Sure.
problem.
I think it'll be fun.
Yeah.
And then we'll get PZ to come up with his puppet.
With
my puppets?
With your puppet.
My little puppet.
And your friends, you could tell your friends all the ventriloquist fan pages you're on.
Sure, cover me. Yeah, thanks.
There you go. Walt does that when he sees this.
There you go.
Hey, it's just we got to get going here. It's 9 o'clock already, but I do want to say, Jim, a couple of things about Jim here really quickly, and I'm trying to pull them up as we speak here. Jim, we could reach Jim in a couple different places here. If you go on YouTube, you can find him here at Dean Martin Traveling by searching that into Facebook.com. You could go into Dean Martin Traveling Museum, and you'll find a whole page with tons of pictures and information about him there. And this is actually the group number. So I'm going to put this group number underneath the BitChute and the YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, this way people could just click on the link if they want it, because it's going to bring you there. Also, if you want to speak to Jim, you could get Jim here at Jim Monaco 1950 at G. You born in 1950?
Yes.
I'm brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, that makes you 71.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow, that's really good math, Mr.
I'm very good at math. Very good at math. Especially when
I thought he was going to say you look really good for your age. No, it's really good math.
Really good math. Oh, you look
Listen,
good.
I got to be honest. I would
never
love
say
to do
anyone
this
looks
again.
good with the man sitting next to me.
I would love to do this again, but I would love to have Dina with us.
Yeah, we'd love to get Dina to come in. It'd be interesting.
Let's plan it. It's like, but for 7 months down the road. How much time we need?
The most impressive part is he comes into the studio here and he's got this little plastic bag. I don't know what's in it. For all I know, he's carrying a rifle. I mean, and then he showed
no, we had the
nobody's pulling out. And then he pulls out the gold record. What a story that is! It's a wonderful story. It shows you how classy of a woman Dina really is.
There was I showed you
And
the
family.
pants and the record.
And the record,
The pants.
the record thing is really impressive.
Not a lot of people could say they were in Dean Martin's pants.
Oh, this is the National Museum of History. Oh,
Yeah, that was just the
Smithsonian.
I wasn't lying
Institution.
about the
No, we-
puppets.
The puppets that got donated?
Yeah, but he's saying to prove that he's not lying. Like we're sitting here going, this guy's lying about everything.
There you go.
There you
That's
go.
all right, cool.
Yeah, they can read it.
Listen, John,
true.
do you have anything in the Smithsonian? I don't even think I've ever been there.
No, I don't know, but there are ventriloquial figures in the Smithsonian.
Of course there are.
I'll bring
Of
that
course
back.
there are. You and your friends.
Yeah, my friends. Yeah, but
You and your crazy nut job friends.
oh, they're all crazy people.
You missed my great line, by the way.
Which was?
Not too many people could say they were in Dean Martin's pants.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Don't forget, I'm selling this for $12.99.
Actually, I love it. As a matter of fact, if we did another show about this, I would love to just talk about the Dean Martin roasts because they're fantastic. Yeah. There's all of them are great. I mean, I to this day could watch that over and over and over and over again. I loved every one.
Listen, I mean, just if we have Jim back and Dina, the stories about Dino that we can get just out of the two of these guys.
I'm just shocked at some of the stories he has today. I mean, I'm looking at the pants and the gold album and all.
The gold album is amazing.
It's a great story, really is.
That's a great.
There's a few more about me and Dina and her husband when we visited their home, but I'll save that for next time.
Okay, sounds like a plan. So in the meantime, it's been too much fun with my guest here, and Jim Monaco.
I tell you, man.
No, I really appreciate him coming out and doing this. More importantly, once again, you want to catch him. Where are you going to get him at? Go into Facebook and type in Dean Martin Traveling Show. You can click on the link below, or you can find him at Jim Monaco 1950. I have no idea what that means, at gmail.com. And you could find us where? At Cool Crap.
Cool Crap We Loved.
And we are at youtube.com/you.
But we don't really like YouTube. I don't really like YouTube.
Well, until you get banned, until you get banned again for something.
I'm banned from Facebook. But yeah, I'd rather you see us on BitChute.
Agreed. You can get me at johnpeasy.com. You have a good time. What should they do, Walt?
They should smash the button, like us on YouTube, and like us on BitChute.
And share.
And share the video.
And we thank Jim Monaco.
I can't share it tonight because I'm banned from Facebook.
Thank you, Walt. I'll catch you on the other side. Thank you. Stay well, Walt. Change your shirt.